Hello my friends and welcome, mods. There's more. Now it's been forever since we've had a good episode of modded Subnautica, and the reason is, well, because the 2.0 update kind of slowed everything down and there just wasn't that big of an amount of mods coming out, honestly. But I am happy to report that enough has come out over time for me to be able to assemble at least some of them and show you a small batch today. So let's go break this game. And starting us off right here in the options menu is actually a lovely mod called volume control. Now, have you ever just played the game and then suddenly... Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Now, this mod lets you control the volume of things in the game individually, from creatures to stalkers to nuclear reactors, apparently. It is freaking awesome. Let's just jump into the game here so I can quickly show you. This is a base. Now, say I want to power this nuclear reactor inside. I put in the rod, and as you might be able to hear, it produces a sort of low humming that I suppose to some people might be annoying if you want to have your base kind of centered around this thing. Well, with this mod, you can simply jump into options, find the nuclear reactor volume, and dial that thing way down to, let's say, 30%, and look at that. So nice and quiet. Now you can do this with a ton of stuff in the game, and while it is just a tiny detail, I think it's great accessibility, especially if you're somebody who really pays attention to the sound in the game. And moving on, let's stick with this base for a little bit, because I know all of you love customizing your bases, and this one is looking a little bland. That's why I'm happy to report that True Base Colorizer has finally made it into Beppin X. In fact, I'm actually not sure if it's the same mod as the previous one. There were two kind of similar ones. Anyway, what this one does is it adds the base color monitor. Now this lets you customize all of the colors, including the lights, inside of your base, except for the floor. You can't change that, I believe. So for example, let's say I was feeling real moody and I wanted to make the base all black. Ooh, it's kind of cool. Obviously, we want all of the modules inside to be black as well. Red lights, like this is straight up an evil base right here. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that looks kind of cool. The blue floor is kind of rough, but from the outside, this looks freaking awesome. Like, look at this base. And this should seamlessly transfer to anything else we might attach to it, such as this moon pool. You can't tell me that this does not look really cool. So if you guys are into base building, this is definitely one to check out. Also, guys, we have a bacon plushie in the works. If you want to keep up with the news, link is in the description. And now, let's use our fabricator a little bit more, because we have a new knife. This is the Cure Blade. It's essentially the heat blade, but green. That's it. I mean, while technically that is all that it is, the idea here is that rather than using heat, it uses brine to cure fish as you kill them. How that works, no clue. But it works pretty well, and it is definitely a different aesthetic to the knife if that's what you prefer. You might even want to combine this with the Color Tools mod. Cool little addition, and if you're going for a different aesthetic, or maybe you just don't like red, why not go for this? And moving on from there, it's time to go fast. Now normally the Seamoth is pretty fast. I mean, it is probably the fastest vehicle in the game if we're just talking about going straight, unless we're counting like grapple hook prawn suit. But sometimes, especially when around Reapers, I feel like it would be amazing to be able to give it a small little boost. Well, that is where Seamoth Sprint comes in. By pressing the adequate button, you can temporarily speed up the Seamoth. However, this will drain your power faster. Now, I love the idea of the kind of a risk-reward element of this, right? Are you going to risk getting eaten by the Reaper but preserve more battery power? Or are you going to use your newly acquired speed to quickly escape, but it might end up leaving you more drained out of battery than you'd like, especially on longer trips? A cool little addition if you're into going fast. And speaking of going fast, we ain't done. I'd already mentioned the prawn suit, and this thing can be pretty fast, but it is not known to be exceptionally fast when just walking straight like this. Well, luckily, if the prawn suit is your desired method of transport, there is a solution. This is the Prawn Super Speed module, which, as stated, basically makes your prawn suit go very fast. So here we are, this is our normal walking speed, seems about right. Let's try one of these modules, eh? Okay, let's see what we got. Oh yeah, now that is considerably faster. Now you could claim this is not immersive, but at the end of the day, I mean, Who cares? For in the future, we're traveling to distant parts of the galaxy using phase gates as possible. I'm sure they could invent a slightly faster prawn suit. My only question is, can we stack these? Oh god, we can. Okay, obviously we need to try what it's like to have all of them. Alright, this is 4 speed modules. Oh my god. Just imagine charging the crap out of a Reaper. Let's get down to the grassy plateaus. It will take me about 2 seconds. Alright, let's see some traversal. Just hearing the tippy taps of the feet. Oh, this is kind of problematic. It's like we're having trouble staying on the ocean floor just because the thing is so freaking fast. If you want to spice up your gameplay, maybe don't go for 4, because that is very spicy. But 1 or 2 could be okay. And who cares about defense when I can just outrun everything? Yes, Salvner, are you seeing this? This is what I call speed running in Subnautica. Oh, sorry, get a little carried away there. Now, before we get to the last mod here, I do want to point out that there are some mods working here in the background that I didn't mention yet just to make this work. And those are number 1, sleek bases. Massive shout out. I've shown this one before, but it essentially just makes your bases look a little bit nicer, both in terms of color and in terms of materials. And this one is enabling the new colors to work. And finally, Nautilus by Lee23, who we just interviewed not so long ago, which is essentially the equivalent of SML Helper and is just making some stuff work in the background. Now, for this last one, I'm gonna quickly jump into a new creative world, just so we can have it fresh. Now, the AI when it comes to the fish in Subnautica is okay. I think it works the way it is supposed to, and it makes the world fairly immersive. However, some people thought that's not good enough. And so here, we have the AI improvements mod. Now, what this one claims to do is to make the world and the fish feel more realistic. Like, for instance, here you can see that the peepers now tend to congregate in groups and swim together. And that's not all. We're gonna have to go find ourselves a Reaper. Oh yeah, while we're on the way, by the way, something I totally forgot about. We have the Seamoth topographical map, as you can see. I thought this one was absolutely brilliant as a mod. I actually quite like the topographical map on the Sea Glide, but sometimes I feel like it's a shame we don't get it on the Seamoth, especially since with this vehicle I'm a bit more concerned about maneuvering through tight spaces. But yeah, a really cool addition, and there is also a version for the Cyclops if you're interested. Alright, look at this thing. When attacked, they won't immediately flee to the safe shallows as they sometimes tend to. And what's more, they shouldn't be giving up on you as easily either. And it should actually continue pursuing me. Oh boy, hostile creatures should actually keep pursuing you up until you get, I think it was 100 meters away from them. On top of that, non-Leviathan creatures, such as sand sharks, have also been given some AI improvements, and rather than just being sharks with brain damage, they can now actually sort of tactically lie in wait. Like, look at that thing. That stalker just like came out of nowhere, so they can actually lie in wait and hide, waiting for you to come near them. Now obviously this is kind of difficult to showcase and many of the changes are relatively small and subtle, but I love the idea of making the AI feel just that tad bit more immersive. Anyways guys, that is it for today's episode of Modded Subnautica. I really hope you enjoyed. If you want to check out the mods, links to all of them will be down in the description. And with that, if you liked the video, maybe consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. All of those would be very much appreciated, and go check out the plush. With that, I'm going to wish you all a beautiful rest of the day, and I'll see you in whatever next video I make. Bye bye!